Hi, my loves. It's Jeray Malay, the girl from around the way, where we have culture, conversation, and community. And in today's video, I'm coming to y'all with some commentary about your girl, Summer, none other. Now, she was on Baddies Africa, the auditions, and apparently she had some sort of exchange with a young lady. Now, before I hop into my commentary, let me ask you to go ahead and like this video. It helps me to continue to grow while I'm over here, doing things a little differently. Appreciate you so much. Go ahead and like the video and consider subscribing if you enjoy this type of content and commentary. Now, I'll be clear and be honest, y'all. I'm here for Summer. I'm here for Summer on my mama. Like, I like Summer. She represents a group of young Black girls who are still outside, got the kids, they had a rough life. But, she still put together. She's still trying. She don't put on like she got it like that. They didn't get a wrong bitch money. Like, it's something about Summer that I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy, right? We all know a girl who got it out the mud. She kind of terrible, but she a good time. She got a good heart and she kind of misunderstood a little bit. I think that we can all agree that Summer is that a little bit. She comes off like she can give it up in that way. So I'm like, okay, Summer on the, Baddies Africa auditions. They really seeing it for sister. They're like, we're going to really give her an opportunity. It's always interesting to see them come from the auditions back into, making it to the audition, making it to the actual season, and then now them being the one having to, pick and choose these girls. Well, apparently Summer said a slick comment to one of the, contestants who basically said she was a victim of gun violence. She was around somebody and, she got shot. She got the wound to show it. And I haven't watched the show, y'all. Baddies is just, I can't anymore. I'm lying. I can't. I've been stopped watching the auditions. I can't. It's too chaotic. So, the girl says, you lying. You got him set up. That's why they were shooting at you or whatever. And I don't remember. I'm gonna be clear. I didn't watch the whole scene, so I don't know. I don't know if the young lady said anything slick to Summer. I don't know if they had already fought because I seen a girl holding a wig. I don't know what's actually happening here. But we see Tinkerbella come out and tell Summer, snapping on her, Summer, this is not cute. I don't care what you talking about, Summer. This is not cute. This is too much. You've gone too far. You're going to be critiqued. You're going to be criticized. Summer is obviously out of her body. She's out of her mind. But this is very still on brand for the way that she responds and she reacts to situations. Summer does not care. I also understand and recognize that Tinkerbella is forever looking for a moment. If I remember her the way I remember her, Tinkerbella is always looking for a moment to flip and dip and, pop and, heel toe and all of the different things and acting her off. Y'all acts off. Shout out to Kenya Moore. Tinker carries it like that, especially when some of the other girls are getting more notoriety, whatever. We know that Tinker will kind of put on one, but I think that she was being honest in this moment. The young lady said that she was a victim, and Rolly, originally in the clip that I saw, Bad Dolly kind of was smiling and giggling and kikiing and cacaing low key, but then once she recognized that Rolly and some of the other ladies had stopped laughing and didn't think that it was funny, Bad Dolly kind of switched up her tune and was like, nah, that's not right, because there are a lot of women who go through intimate partner violence, gun violence and all of these different things. So it's not right. And they understand and recognize that a lot of the girlies who watch Baddies at some point have been involved in some death. And Tinkerbella was like, girl, this is not right. Da, da, da. And she was still trying to get at the girl. I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna run that. You need to run this to me. Run this, run the fight, whatever, run the feed. So, girl, not me missing 3 or 4 episodes, don't even know the lingo, okay? Run the fit or what? So, I wanted to kind of talk about this today because a lot of people were like, oh, Summer is terrible. As a matter of fact, let's get into some of the things that the people had to say about Summer none other on my mama. So one lady says, but y'all love Summer. This literally just called a set up after asking her how she got. Don't even know her. Then had the girls jump on her like this. It just went to a new level of low. Hate her, disgusting. So I don't know. Did the other girls in her group decide to jump on her because they said, Summer was tried to play her out and said she set the man up. I don't know, y'all. Drop that in the comments. Like, again, I didn't watch it. If the girl came up and said she got into it, whatever, and told the other girls to jump on her, that is crazy. It's amazing how these girls just have so much power, like over the course of one season, that they can now conduct and tell people, this is what I want you to do. And people are jumping to it just in hopes of being able to have this platform. That's amazing. Another user said, I really hope this was her first and last season. And when I was looking through and combing through some of the tweets, a lot of people were saying that about her. Like, I can't stand her. I can't deal. Some people were still like going up for her. But overall, I think that people were turning their back against her. And this is what Tinka said. Like, you're going to be criticized for this. You're going to be critiqued for this. And she's like, I don't care. I don't care. Now, she did come out and make a statement saying, I don't want to hear nothing about no auditions. I was going through so much and I had just lost my niece. I was drunk and I was out of my body. I don't want to hear nothing else about it. Not necessarily an apology, more like, girl, this is what it's given. But here's the thing, Summer, two things can be true at once. Yes, you could be grieving and going through something, but also too, that could still be your character, girl. That could still be your character. Just because you are grieving and going through something, does that mean that the young lady's trauma at that point doesn't hold the same weight or same bearing as you? Why is it because just last season you got on a show with Natalie Nunn and J-Lo? Suddenly now your trauma only matters? And this is why I think that the whole baddies rhetoric is so corny and not real, because in real life, in real time, like, women that go through and face certain things, like, nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that. And I'm not saying that you got to be, the best hoochie mama, the best this, the best that, you Section 8 mom, you had your kids young, or whatever the case may be, however you fall. It's real chicks that, is in the hood, from the hood, Section 8 public housing, baby daddy, multiple, teenage mom, but they don't come from the best of situations and environments, but they still have a code and a moral compass, a moral code of conduct. Summer is just wild and reckless, but it's not all of her fault. It's not all of her fault, because this is the type of behavior that has awarded her opportunity and proximity to this lifestyle. And shout out to her. She just got her Fashion Nova brand ambassador deal. They be cutting checks over at Fashion Nova, $10,000 a post, allegedly. But, you are missing the mark, because this is not how, like, the caricature of the black girl, hood chick, keeping it real, actually is. Like I said, they have more moral compass about them. They have more code about them. And you are just making a fool of yourself. You are literally just crashing out, because that is what is rewarded. Okay. And this is the thing. This is why I feel like this whole baddies aesthetic is not sustainable, because we have somebody who can come onto a platform and the same things that is making them famous, the same things that the fans love, the same things that we all want to see more of, is the same thing that's going to push the fans away. Okay? Because when you're ratchet and you're this and you hopping on Jayla, it's all fun and period, because that girl need to get whacked. But then when you're doing the same type of thing, the disrespect to someone else is, oh no, that's too far, that's too much. And when you're dealing in these energies, these drunken spirits moving around, fighting and tussling over absolutely nothing, money, extortion, sex, and everything else, who knows what the hell's really going on? You see how Natalie Nunn got that little piece of power, girl. You can't tell her nothing. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, it's giving very much like, what in the world is actually happening over at Zeus? And now we have these crash outs who feel like, oh, I can just say the most disrespectful thing. I can push it to the limit. I can say whatever, I'm a no limit money getting soldier, and it just doesn't matter. And then the thing about it is, the line that's in the sand is different for me than it is for you. And they'll never know. They'll never know. We were all singing Krishan's praises when she, washed persuasion up in the kitchen sink. But at some point we drew the line with her, drinking with the baby. Right? And then there's some fans that are still holding on and riding for Krishan. But because it's so like you know, everybody's threshold is going to be different. You're constantly trying to be relevant. You're constantly trying to be the one, to have the, oh my, you're constantly trying to be the one, to have the one, you know what I mean? To have the viral sound, to have the best confessional, to have the best fade, to be the one to stand on business, the one that got the best wigs, okay? The one who stole the wig. And when it comes down time to having like real values, that shit's out the window, because you're looking for a quick moment to go viral. You're looking to be the one to go trending. You're looking to be the one to have all of the, you know, the fan favorites. And then an instant you can do something and it's too much. Much like a baby. We praise, oh my God, oh, it's so funny when a baby's cursed. Oh, he said S-H-I-T. Oh, he said this. Oh, he said that. It's so funny. And then one day you turn 5 and it's no longer funny. But y'all been praising me this whole time. It was funny. All my mom was laughing. This, that, and the third was cute. But it's negative behavior. And we're rewarding negative behavior with likes, with engagement, with views and everything else. And it's just like, you know, at some point, you know, when is enough enough? You know, at some point, you got to be like, you know what, this is too much. And that's why the whole Baddies lifestyle is just completely unsustainable. And if any of them girls got a platform, had a pinch of a brain, they would understand that they need to develop their brand outside of the Baddies world. We need to know you for real. And I'm sure that they probably got some sort of clause in NDA. They can't even do too much. Okay. I want to know what you think. Are y'all still riding for Summer at Dawn on my mama, or are y'all feeling differently about her since the auditions? Let me know what you think, and let me know what happened, girl. Drop down in the comments. As always, I'm sending you much love and much light, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.